DoorDash Driver Mama. Andre TV here from DoorDash Driver Mama, coming to you on the first day of this new year of 2025. Welcome. Glad you made it. I'm glad I made it too. We're going to be doing a video every day. It may be a ride along, it may be not. Some days I won't work, so it'll probably be in the house or whatever I'm doing, but a video every day for 2025 because I have to get monetized. It's been too long, way too long. Anyway, we have our first order for the day. We started or logged on to Uber Eats about 12:11. It is now 12:37. We've already done the first order. It was $9.58 going 2.8 miles. And on our way back to the avenue, we have our next. I believe it was $7 going 1 point something miles, but we were almost a mile away. So it's going to be an apartment very close. We're going to get some sushi. The first one was some Chipotle, and we did not turn on DoorDash yet. I have learned as a Platinum Dasher, do not turn it on until you are sitting in the spot where you want an order from. The earlier you turn it on away, when you're coming off the highway, getting close, they'll send you every order in the whole zone or within, 2 to 3 miles that nobody wants. You have a better chance of getting one that you want if you're closer to those restaurants. So let's go get this sushi and then we'll turn on DoorDash and see how things go. Well, Uber is getting the year kicked off right. We were sent an add-on that we took. They sent us about 6 so far, but this one we took $6.33 for an additional 1.3 miles. Let's go get some New Year's smoothies. And both orders dropped off. They were neighboring apartment buildings. Now let's go get the pumpkin pancakes, turkey links, hash browns, and French toast. So it is now 1:40. We are back on the block. We have dropped off all Uber Eats orders. They're going to take an hour for all of the final tips to come in, but we did our first hour and a half of Uber Eats only. We have our first DoorDash, $11 or $11.75 going 4 miles, and we're going to go get some tacos. So the new order, the breakfast is dropped off, and Uber came through again, $9.98, 4.2 miles, and it's going back into the neighborhood where we like to stay, and we're going to deliver. And we have our chicken nuggets, honey butter chicken, and 2 orders of fries. Now let's go deliver in this windy weather. So the $11 went up to $12.75. We arrived back on the avenue and have our next $8.75 for I believe 3.7 miles. We have some Thai. Let's go deliver. So we have dropped off that last order. It remained the $8.75 and we are grateful. And we did not turn back on the DoorDash again because we weren't on the block, but we did turn back on the Uber Eats. So Uber Eats beat out DoorDash. We are ending that dash, and I think we made like $20, $21, but Uber Eats $22 and change for 2 pickups, 2 drop-offs, getting some sandwiches and some Vietnamese, and it's only 6.2 miles, so let's go get it. So that last one remained the same, and we are back on the avenue. It is about 4:15-ish, 4:20, and it's 7:75, 7 miles. We're going to get a grass-fed burger and a grains bowl. We should be ready. And that $7.75 went up to $9.59. Thank you, Mr. Customer. He even came out to meet me. It was an apartment building, but I don't know if you've noticed this. A lot of times if you are in a back apartment and you're neighboring another street, DoorDash will lead you to the wrong apartment, a totally different building, but that's closest to where they ordered. So he must be used to it. It was handed to me. Plus, when I was walking up to him after I went to the wrong place and then went back to the main street, he was walking to me. So thank you. I appreciate that. Now, we are back on the block. Uber Eats, $7, 1.1 miles. We're getting some bakery food, but this bakery does sell actual dishes too, so I don't think it's bakery food that we're getting. And then we're gonna go sit by the sushi and Indian spots for the dinner rush. Hopefully, maybe we'll do one more by the salad and bakery place. Yep, no breakfast food. We are getting braised short rib, an eggplant couscous bowl, and a cappuccino with hazelnut syrup. Sounds delicious. So that order was also a meet at door. It was for the receptionist of the building. She's a very nice lady. I've talked to her many times. But they sent us another one while we were on our way. $7.08 for 1.9 miles. We're going back to get some more Vietnamese food for the win. On my way in to get the Vietnamese food. But look at this travesty. Somebody dropped their crab legs and the car crushed it. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Let's go. That last order also was a meet at door, and we have it dropped off. So it is now 5:03, and it says it's very busy with a $1 peak pay that will go through 8:59. Hopefully this is a great dinner shift because we really do need it. Them Christmas bills is hitting. And anyways, we made about 90 on Uber Eats and about 41 on DoorDash. So this is an exceptionally good day. A lot of people did stay home. It is the 1st of January. Usually on a good day when I drop off the kids by 8:30 and start and then stop about 4:30, 5 o'clock. If I make 120 in that amount of time, it's great. So this is a rare day. Thank you for January 1st. And let's see what we do for this dinner shift. So now 5:06, we do have our first order. $10 going 3.2 miles, I believe. Picking up some Indian food. I did accept. And then they instantly sent an add-on. $6.75 for an additional 1.1 miles. I did decline that order. The second store has never had the food ready when I get there, and they have the ding. As soon as you take the order, it dings that it's ready, and it's not ready, and I am not waiting. I'm not waiting for it. Hopefully they send me another add-on at a store that is more quick with it, and they are. Let's see what it is. So that add-on that I did take was $7 for an additional 1 mile, and it's picking up at a Chinese restaurant. I wouldn't say Chinese restaurant. It's more Chinese and Korean restaurant, and they have been known to be slow, but I'm hoping that's not the case on today. But either way, they're going to be faster than the sports bar that always takes 10 to 20 minutes for almost every order. Let's go get the Indian. So it is 5:10. We have the Indian in the car. It was ready, and we're going to the Chinese place. And one of the reasons why the Uber Eats was able to get to 90 in that time, there was 2 different incentives I didn't know were happening, but one was a $3 add-on for completing a certain number of trips, and then a $4.50 add-on. So without that, it would have been closer to $80, which is still leaving us over 100, which is good. Just wanted to fill in and give you that bit of information. Let's hope the Chinese is ready. I made the right decision by not taking the sports bar food and then taking the next Chinese food. That $7 plus went up to $18. The customer tip $15. Thank you, Mrs. Customer. Now let's go deliver the Indian. We are back on the block, and in 33 minutes we made $29.25. Woohoo! And we ended that dash, and we're going to wait and start another one for about a minute. I just passed the ramen place, and they have about 4 bags sitting there. The ramen place does not have any restrictions on where you can order from, and most of the orders coming out of there are going out of the zone and have very little or no tip. So hopefully if I wait a minute, it won't pick up that I just passed the ramen place, because they track you when you're not logged in, and I don't have to decline any, and maybe just 1 or 2, or we accept and wait the 10 minutes if we're below like a 72. But we're at 73. Let's see what we get next. So I did have to decline a few. I think I'm at 71% right now because this last one I just took, if I declined that one, I would have been down to 70. But the one in between, one was for, it'll be in a screenshot. I forgot what it was. Then the second one they sent me was for 2 orders, $22 and change, total of 6-point-something miles. But one was going to an apartment, and it's an apartment building that takes up the whole block. So you're going to be finding it forever, and the numbers do not align. So whatever number you have, it's not going to go 1, 2, 3. It's going to be, this section is going to be 35 to 49. That section will be 17 to 4. 1 and 2 will be on the right by the elevator. It's crazy. And then the next one was going to a hospital. The hospital, you can't leave the food, and it's out of the zone, and they are almost never ready because they're working. So that's why I declined that one. The next one I was going to take, $8.75 for 1 mile. They added another $1 peak pay. So $7.29 is one additional dollar, so it's a $2 peak pay. So that $8.75 would have gone up, but I took the screenshot and then it was gone. I didn't decline it. It was just disappeared from my screen, and that's why we have the next one. This is a large order, 9 items, but it's showing only $11 going 2.9 miles, and I can see the restaurant's crowded, so I'm probably gonna have to wait a few minutes, but we're gonna make it up because we accepted an Uber Eats. $10 0.3 miles or 0.9, less than a mile. And we're going to do that on the way to the DoorDash drop-off. So no violations, no latenesses. Let's go get it. So this is the $11 order. 6 pizzas and 3 meatball ravioli dinners. Let's see if it goes up. Yep, it remained $11. 6 pizzas, 3 meatball raviolis, and they tipped $5. And I'm grateful. Let's go back to the avenue. As per standard, we turned on Uber Eats as soon as we got back on the main avenue, not in front of a store yet. We only do that with DoorDash, but we have our next order on Uber Eats. $10, 1.7 miles. We are getting some Thai food, 8 items, and when it's $10 even, it almost always goes up on Uber Eats. Sometimes it's cents or dollars. We'll find out in an hour from now, just like the other $10 that we just dropped off on that $11 for $200+ worth of food. Anyways, we are going to get some Thai. Okay, I have a bit of a dilemma. We received our next order. It is $38.50 for 2 pickups, 2 drop-offs, 11.1 miles, but I put in the address. The second customer is a 33-minute drive if I was going straight to them, but in between, I am going to be dropping off the first customers. I have not even arrived at the first store yet, and I told myself, well, if I get a good Uber Eats in the same direction, then I'm going to drop the furthest one, because that 33 minutes, it'll take me 35 to get back minimum. And I really didn't want to do that. But $38.50, that's not a little bit. And the Uber Eats is actually, I did accept a $10 1-point-something miles, but it's not really on the way. So if I dropped off the first Uber and unassigned the second, I don't know how much I'm going to get. Obviously, the one that's going the furthest has been around the system and been in the system for a while. And I could be risking getting just 20 or low 20s for the next 30 minutes rather than a guaranteed $38.50 for the next 35 minutes. And it's almost guaranteed that I will get an order coming back towards my zone because it is New Year's and it is busy. So I'll let you know. I accepted that $38.50 order at 6:28 and debated what I was going to do and waited to see what Ubers came in. Went to the restaurant, still had to wait. Picked up the food, 6:48. That's why I don't like going to that sports bar and grill. 10 to 20 minutes every single time. But I'm going to keep all 3. Right now we're picking up the Uber, then we're going to pick up the second DoorDash, and we're going to see. We're going to do it. 7:06 p.m. and I lucked out. You may not know, but with Uber, it never shows you the full address. And when it gives you 2 cross streets, that actual address may be on one side of town or neighborhood that you're familiar with and those 2 streets meet, or it may be on the other side. And then when you get one street you know and the other that you don't know, meaning Sycamore, I don't know exactly. So turns out they were only a minute from each other, the first DoorDash and the Uber Eats. So those are dropped off, and now we have 8.5 miles and 27 minutes to go. So I am back. It is 8:12. Uber radar is coming through. I'll check it in a second. So we have our next order, $8.50 with the plus sign, going 2.5 miles. Uber does have another quest going on. If you got 5 orders in by 8:59, you would get an additional $5. But I doubt it. I'm gonna get a batch worth doing, but we'll see. Let's go see if the sushi is ready. So that last order did go from $8.50 up to $11. We were back on the avenue. It's 8:44. The $1 is only a $1 peak pay still remaining up until 8:59, and it's very light pink. So it's not going to be a lot of orders. And I did decline the next one I just received. It was for $28.75 going 14.1 miles. But it was going to southeast DC and not northwest DC. And it's already 8:45. So we had to decline that one. Let's see what we get next. And while we're waiting, do you see that little curb right there? That car parked with the lights still on his brake lights, was speeding, trying to catch this light before it turned red, and almost got himself. That little curb will tear your tire up. But just to let you know about the 3 $10 orders that were $10 even that we started the dinner shift with, the first went up to $10.56. The second went up to $16 and change. And then the last went up to $17 and change. So it's almost always a little bit. Didn't learn his lesson, huh? Ding dong. It almost always goes up, and we're still waiting. 8:56, and we do have our next one. It is on Uber Eats. $10 even, going 2.1 miles, and it most likely is not going to go up by much. One is a samosa, a naan, a large basmati rice, and then the main dish. So it's not a very large order. We did have to decline another DoorDash. I believe it was $9.75 going 5.6 miles, going to the tip of DC, right where Virginia starts. No. And I was too slow, and I missed a better Uber Eats. It would have been a batch. $19, 2 pickups, 2 drop-offs, going 6 miles and change out of the zone. But that would have led me at the 5 before 8:59. But by the time I looked at the DoorDash and went back to the Uber, it was gone. And we're still grateful for the 10. So we are inside the Indian restaurant, and they did send the add-on, and it came in at like $8.58. It was for $3.02, going an additional 0.9 miles. So that most likely is a non-tipper. But since I did receive the order before 8:59, that should make my 5 orders by 8:59, and I should get a $5 bonus. I only took it anticipating that $3 was going to turn into $8 with the $5. So we'll find out after I drop it off. Of course, it's not ready yet. It had just came in, so we're going to be waiting a few minutes, but that's okay. Uber likes to play games. Dropped off both orders, and then I get the ding telling me, oh, you did not qualify for the promotion. You only did 4 trips. When I accepted that last order for $3.02 at what, 8:56 or 8:57. So it is now 9:45. I have been on the Uber chat for the last 20 minutes. While I was doing that with them, asking them to review it, I said, let me drive to Whole Foods to get my daughter some peanut butter. She likes the peanut butter that is absolutely no sugar, but it also has to be the right consistency. And there are only like 2 brands that is. The one in the green jar, glass, with the green jar screw top. I forget the name, but that's like $4.99 or $5.99, depending on which store you go to. And Whole Foods. Whole Foods, same size, comes in a plastic jar, but absolutely no sugar added, and the consistency she likes. And it is only $2.99. So I went on my little Google Maps, and it said that it closes at 10. And on most days, it does close at 10. But not today, because it is still New Year. So I turned on the app after we finally finished the 20 minutes worth of chatting, and they assured me that in 24 to 48 hours I'm going to get that $5, and it won't be any need to reach back out. So we're going to see. But we have a order, $8.25 for 3-point-something miles, picking up at Maggiano's, and it should be ready at 9:46. Well, thank you, Jesus. We have our last order for the night. We are picking up some Chinese food. It said that it was going to be $40.63, going 21 miles, but they close at 10 o'clock. It is now after 10. That's 10:15. I got this order when I was dropping off the 8:25 for DoorDash. And I said, well, I hope they're going to be here. Nobody picked up. They left the food on the door, and we are going to earn that $40 and go home. Woo-hoo-hoo. So we have the order dropped off. And wouldn't you know it, that order was ready at 9:14 p.m. We did not hear it ring on our phone until, what was it? Almost 10 o'clock or about 10 o'clock. And when I was dropping off that last DoorDash, and the customer lived 35 minutes away from...
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
Do you want to know how much they tipped? We have dropped off, and they show the base pay, and then you can tell the tip by what's remaining. $35 was the base pay. It went around and around the Uber system for almost an hour before I accepted it at $35 base pay, and the customer tipped $5.63 as the tip. And I'm not 100% sure it's going to stay on. When I pulled up to the house, it looked like everybody was asleep. All the lights were off. I don't know if they're going to receive it. I don't know if they're going to take the tip back because they waited over an hour. But we shall see. But try to order some Chinese food close to your home if you want to eat it within the hour that you decide that you're hungry and you're going to place the order. We'll be back with our totals for the day. DoorDash driver, mama. DoorDash driver, mama. DoorDash driver, mama. DoorDash driver, mama. DoorDash driver, mama.